Hey friends, so in this video, I'm going to share my wealth building system that I've used to automate all of my finances. And the reason that this is so critical is because you want to take all of the mental and emotional burden out of wealth building and make it as easy and simple as possible so that you can stay consistent. And so I'll share the 6 steps that I use to create a powerful system. I've actually created a free tool that includes links to the different tools in Fidelity's ecosystem for you to use. So there's only really 2 things that you need to understand to put this automation into practice. Okay, so let's talk about what we're trying to do when we automate your finances. So you have your paycheck, this money over here. That's going to come into a receiving account. So this will be the first account that you set up. And frankly, you can do most everything that we're going to walk through in this video from just one account. But I'm going to show you why you might want other accounts and some different considerations that you might want to build for your own system. Even if you don't set up other accounts, what you're going to want to do is then automate your investments. And so the money is going to go from your receiving account. That's going to automatically invest. So your investments are going to earn money on their own in a few ways. Typically, when you invest in something, it's going to give you money back, whether it's in a agreed upon time, like a bond or a T-bill or interest on your checking account or stocks that pay what's known as dividends. Either way, they're throwing off cash. And so what we want is when these payments happen through interest or anything else, that we're using that new money to repurchase investments so that you have a continuous cycle of automatic investing. And I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so that's what you're doing in your main account. But you can also have goal accounts. And so, what I like to think about is, do you have different goals that you can automatically move money from this big receiving account to a sub account that you might have for a specific purpose, like saving up for a rainy day or a house or anything else that you have for a goal. Then if you have a partner or a spouse, you might also want a joint account. And so what we're going to look at is how your goal accounts connect to your joint account and how this main receiving account funnels between these different accounts and how we automate all of this so that you really don't have to think about your money and it just moves to where you want it to go. Okay, so let's look at the 6 ways that we're going to make this all come to life. First, what we're going to do is we're going to open our accounts. We're going to automate how cash flows through those accounts. So from your paycheck to your first account to your other accounts. We're going to look at how to automate investments. We're going to look at how to automate the core position. Then we're going to talk about how to automate the reinvestments, which are the dividends that your investments are paying you so that you can be repurchasing those investments and it just keeps growing on its own. And then finally, how to automate repurchasing of fixed income. Okay, so with Fidelity, there's 3 different accounts that I'm focused on opening. The first is just an individual cash management account. And that's simply where all my cash goes and I can invest in that account. I can use it as a checking account. I can move money from that cash management account into retirement accounts I have. It really kind of sits at the hub of everything that I do. You can also have a business cash management account. So if you are a business owner, it's really the same thing as an individual cash management account, but just for your business. And then finally, like I mentioned in the overview, we can have a joint cash management account. And this basically has 2 owners on it. So, you or your partner could be contributing to it or pulling money out. It's an easy way to share in expenses and move things around. So you can go to the cash management sign up page. If you already have a cash management account, when you log into Fidelity, you can actually add more. So that's what I do. It takes a couple minutes just to make new accounts. Okay, now we're going to talk about the 2 most critical parts of this whole process. So one is automating your cash flow, and then the other is automating your investments. And they're both at the same link. Okay, so now I am in Fidelity's automatic recurring investments and transfers. And I'm going to show you what this looks like so that you can set it up for yourself. So you're going to click create new activity. So let's get into investments first. So after you have your account set up, you click this drop down and you select the account that you want to invest your cash in. Next is just selecting which company or ETF you want to invest in. If you wanted to invest in the top 500 largest companies in the United States, you could go with something like VOO, which is Vanguard's bucket of the 500 largest companies. So I will have future videos out on kind of nitpicking which ones I like, but I don't want to overcomplicate it because, again, the message in this video is it's really simple. I'm going to invest in United States companies, so I'll select VTI. Now, here is where I need to decide, well, how often do I want to invest and how much do I want to invest? So the way I like to think about it is if I'm paid, let's say every 2 weeks, I might decide to invest every 2 weeks. So let's say I'm paid on, I don't know, I'm making this up. Let's say I'm paid typically on Fridays. Maybe I'll invest on Monday or Tuesday of the following week. Now I want to decide how much do I want to automatically invest. So this is really up to you. One of the things that I would encourage you if you're just starting out, start with something that feels easy for you. And easy is going to be different from person to person. Well, let's just say it's like 5% of your paycheck. So, let's say you make $1,000 on a paycheck. So 5% of that, just easy math, would be $50. So I will say every 2 weeks, I want to invest $50. Now, you pretty much are just going to do this for every single account you have that you want to have an investment in. The key is to make it simple. Take the emotion out of investing and just automate it so that you're investing automatically and you don't have to think about it. The more manual you make it, the more difficult it is to invest when things are emotional. So when the stock market's down, it's really hard because everybody's scared. And so then you're not going to want to invest. And then you might start delaying your investments. The way you build wealth is by allowing your money to compound. And so the only way that happens is if you expose your money to some level of risk. And so the best way you can do this is just automate it so you don't have to think about it. Okay, so now let's go back and then look at how we can create transfers. So I'm going to hit create new activity, transfers. Now a similar window is going to pop up. So you're going to pick the account that you want to move money from. So this is that main account that we were talking about. Now I can set up money to move to a different account. So in this example, I have money moving from my main account to my joint account. So going back to the example where you make $1,000 on a paycheck, let's say that once a month you wanted to move, $400 for splitting utilities and different expenses. And then you've set up your automation. So I might have an account for my joint where I'm sharing in expenses. Then I'm going to have an account for different savings goals I have. And pretty much money is just moving monthly to these different accounts on autopilot. Okay, so I'll go back to our checklist. We've decided which accounts we want to use. We've set up automated transfers between those accounts. And now we're automating our investments. Now, the next thing that we're going to want to do is make sure that our core position is earning us interest. So to do that, you can click the link in my walkthrough. It's going to bring you to your total portfolio page. And so if you click positions up here, what you're going to see is a link of all of the positions that you have in each account. So here I have an account, just as an example. I'm going to click on the cash position. I'll click on that and it's going to show me what I have my money invested in. So in this case, I have it invested in SPACs, which is just one of Fidelity's money markets, earning around, let's see, 3.92% interest. All right, so next up, after your core position and you've automated your investments, now we want to automate our reinvestments. And so this is, again, what I was talking about with dividends. What you'll commonly hear is a phrase called DRIP. And so it's the dividend reinvestment plan. You always want to make sure that you have dividend reinvestment set up automatic. So my recommendation, if you're in a wealth building stage, is don't spend dividends that you make, just have them automatically reinvest into whatever you're invested in. And so let me show you how to do that. So I'm going to click here and we'll go to the dividend reinvestment page. And what you'll see here is a list of all of your accounts. And this is a really handy way to edit all of your accounts at once. You're just going to go under action. And what you can see in mine is that I already have dividends set up to reinvest in the security, which is just what I'm invested in. And same thing with capital gains. Everything's set to just reinvest and continue growing on its own. If I ever wanted to update that, I could just click update. And then what you can see is that you have options to either reinvest in the security, which is what I like to do, or you can deposit it to a core account, meaning as you have income coming in, it's depositing into an account and it's just sitting there in cash. Now, that will harm your long-term wealth building. It's really critical that we're continuing to compound by taking those dividends and reinvesting. But if taking that income and spending it on yourself keep you consistent long-term with investing, then by all means go for it. Or if you're retired and you just want to use those dividends, you can. So if you wanted to change that, you would just hit deposit to core account. And then finally, the last thing to look at is just automating any fixed income purchases you have. So last week's videos were about purchasing treasury bills and how to set it up so that they automatically purchase after you make the first one on your own. And so that's taking advantage of Fidelity's auto roll service, which I'll click here. Really, you enable auto roll when you buy the treasury bill, which I walked through in my last video. But this is just a link to learn more about what auto roll is. But it's just, again, another way to automate continuing to reinvest in your wealth building. So, those are the 6 ways that I really set up all of my accounts. And really, it takes just about 10 minutes to do. You might spend a little bit more time figuring out how much you want to invest every month and how much you want to move between accounts automatically. But really, once you have it all set up, it really just works on its own. So I think very little about the manual effort of making my investment decisions and what to do with my cash, or if I have investments that are earning money and distributing cash. Those are all just reinvesting, like I showed earlier. And so then, really, you can focus on the hardest part, which is really just earning money so that you can funnel money into this system and it's growing on its own. So, if you're interested in using this walkthrough, you can go to the link in my video description. Just click on member tools, and then automated wealth building and the Fidelity tool checklist will be right there. It's going to have a quick walkthrough, and then you can click get the tool and just open up a copy and download it for yourself. I also have all of my other tools available, and these are just different things that I'm building as I release videos that help you implement what we're talking about on the channel. So I hope this has been helpful to help transform how you build wealth and make it a little bit easier on yourself. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Again, I love interacting with anyone that has questions and helping out. This video has been helpful. A like or subscribe helps others find the channel, so I always appreciate that. And we talked about auto roll. If you haven't watched how to purchase treasury bills on Fidelity and what a treasury bill even is, I'll link you to that video next so that you can start investing in fixed income to earn a little bit more on your cash. And I hope you have a great weekend.